Malakai Black, Aleister Black should sue every fucking body for defamation of character. I am completely convinced that we all know who I'm talking about. And, the Max Casters of the world, but even down to small YouTubers. If I was Aleister Black, if I was Malakai Black, I would sue every fucking body for defamation of characters. From big podcasts to small YouTubers to publicly known other pro wrestlers that spat out his name or implied something about him that just wasn't true. Because he did nothing wrong. Like, the guy is married. I know a lot of these fat, double chin, egg fucking shaped loser males that look like this. The average pro wrestling fan that looks like this. I know they couldn't understand the concept of why a guy would want to go to another company to, be with his wife, who he vowed to be with. It just makes complete sense. And to me, I'll be honest, WWE does look like an old boys club. If you're a hot girl and you're single, you'll probably make it. You'll notice that a lot of the hot girls that came into the business with their husbands got fired along with their husband. Why? Because they probably wouldn't fucking suck dick because they had a man already. So these white collar guys who can't get anybody probably can't use their position, you know what I'm saying, to abuse it on these young hot things. But if I was Aleister Black, if I was Malakai Black, I'd sue all these people, all these publicly known people, other pro wrestlers, big podcasters, and small YouTubers. I'm taking drugs. It's unfair. I think a lot of people implied things about him that just weren't true. And I actually watched the fucking product. I watch AEW. I can tell you right now, House of Black took L's after L's. Malakai Black took L after L after L for everybody. He never got advanced. He never got pushed. What belt did the House of Black ever really hold? I remember Julia Hart. She got to hold the belt. But I don't remember Malakai Black having a belt. I don't remember Brody King having a belt. And I'll tell you what it is. It's these AEW originals, quote unquote originals. They want to feel special, important, like they're pillars of a company, like they stand for something, like the shit would fall apart without them. That's just not true. Because if we know one thing, remember what MJF was famous for? MJF was famous for his fiance leaving him. That's one of the most famous things about him. Is Mr. Big Shot, Mr. I make so much money, Mr. I win the gold. Well, why? If we know one thing about chicks, they love successful guys, right? They love money. They love all this gold. Why couldn't you keep her? But we're going to blame Malakai Black for wanting to be with his wife like he did something wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, it's just it's the failure of creative, because probably creative didn't give them any chance. And then they don't know what to do with a guy who's got supernatural powers. He doesn't hold a belt. They kind of didn't know what to do with that. And that's not his fault. That's their fault, because they don't believe in something like that. But in the old days of WWE, you could, because Triple H was the king of kings. That's complete blasphemy. He's calling himself Jesus Christ. You know that, right? But you have a bunch of Christian conservatives that love pro wrestling because it's basically softcore porn. It's porn Christians can watch. Porn for Mormons. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's utterly ridiculous, bro. My boy did wrong, bro. He got done dirty. And I think the reason he gets done dirty is because all these AEW originals are scrawny. They're not in shape. They're not as tall. They're not as big of stars naturally. They just don't have it. They just don't have that star power. They just don't have that X factor. And so they have to... You could see the workings. You could see it was like something went on behind stage with MJF and Darby Allin. Like, hey, if you take care of me, I'll take care of you. And you get to have one scrawny boy be the champion, and then you get another guy who doesn't have the star power to be champion. Like, just give me the belt. I'll give it right back. Like, guys who would never hold that belt in WWE, in WWE pro wrestling standards, only because WWE storytelling is so dog shit, do we put up with it. But there is a standard to pro wrestling. And you got to remember, MJF's whole gimmick for years, his gimmick was, if you don't pay me enough money, I'm going to go to the other company. And we all know how pro wrestling likes to play that game where they don't mention the company, but we know what they're talking about. But there was a couple times, and everybody remembers who did it. It was MJF, and he dropped their name specifically, WWE. And he kept mentioning them, and people were like, yo, you can't cut a promo without mentioning them. Until it became obvious that WWE didn't want him. He wasn't a star. He's not as big. It looks like he got on the sauce, keeping it real, but he's not as big. He's not as in shape. He doesn't have the star power as anybody else. Under WWE standards, I'm talking about, like, let's go anywhere from Attitude Era to the last days of Ruthless Aggression to the days John Cena became a big shot, which is when I stopped watching it, because you can only watch clothesline, shoulder block, spin out powerbomb, to, FU, STFU, 5-knuckle shuffle. You can only watch that so many times until you're like, okay, I'm over this. Even as a teenager, I was over it. But we had great wrestling in the 90s, in the early 2000s. I'm telling you, dude, there's a standard to pro wrestling. The AEW guys got away with it during the COVID era because it was the illusion that these two corporations were equal. They are not. If you had them in the crowd and you got to see how the wrestlers' size stack up to the arena, to the crowd, in the camera, in your home, you would see, obviously, that the AEW guys are way smaller. They just don't have the star power. They just don't have the look to be stars like that. And all the best ones, they have like one guy, Hangman. And then all the other best guys are ex-WWE guys. Everybody knows that. All the best AEW guys are ex-WWE guys. Any AEW original is mid. And I know that they take bumps and they do all the things that they have to do. I love pro wrestling. But at the end of the day, these guys are mid-carders. They would never be over in WWE, in real big shot pro wrestling. I'm talking Obafemi, Brock Lesnar, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold, The Rock, standards. They would never, ever get over. But guys like Tommy End can. Big guys, I'm saying Hangman can. Swerve can. But I even think Swerve threw shade at Malakai Black, at Aleister Black. Because why? Because you can't have another rival. The card is already so stacked. They already have only so much time for people. They don't have enough to give around. And so they don't want an ex-WWE trained, promo trained, really good, really physique, really creative, really unique guy like Aleister Black, Malakai Black around. And if he brings his hot wife too, it's over, bro. Like, come on, AEW needs that star power in their women's division. They always just will. But I think Malakai Black was done dirty. He should sue absolutely every fucking body because he did nothing wrong. The guy is allowed to go to another company. The guy is allowed to want to be with his wife. They live an unconventional life. They're on the road. When can he see his wife? Like, you know what I'm saying? They did nothing wrong, okay? And it's these AEW originals. You really think Max Caster would ever go far in a WWE standard? I've seen top AEW people go to WWE and crickets. It's like they've never been seen before. Nobody from the WWE universe knows what's happening in the AEW world. They just don't. It's too big. This is a country of 330 million people. Sometimes they just don't know. They haven't been watching. And a lot of these AEW people think they're going to get success in WWE. They just don't. And Tony Khan, I've seen him book terrible matches. I remember I saw him book the Lucha Bros in either Arizona or like Los Angeles. And he booked them to lose a tag match, a title match, a ladder match. And the crowd was mostly Latino, hyped up, yeah. And they lost. And you could just feel the energy after that match was over, bro. Because they had their little hometown boys. They wanted to see the Latino guys win their little championship. But Tony Khan doesn't know how to book. And now we have to see all these mid-carders who've become his friend over the years backstage. And I know it's probably hard to want to, deny these people who've thrown themselves off cages and ladders for you. You want to give them their shot. They're owed something. I understand that. But Tony Khan needs a little bit of that Vincent Kennedy McMahon in him to make the right decision and say, nope, this guy's the star, not you. These people are the stars, not you. I watched Toni Storm take L's to people who she's clearly better than. But because she wants to play nice in AEW, okay, she'll take the L against this person. But they're not better than her. They're not better than the ex-WWE people. Swerve, Strickland, all the ex-WWE people. And that includes Malakai Black, Aleister Black. And he should sue every fucking body.